Hey y'all, how are you? Hope that you're doing well. Today is Monday and it's Mr. Rockstar's only day off today, and I'm going to make this pretty quick because I did a major setup, but I did change. Quickest way to change something is to make a video about it. The only thing I did was switch traveler's notebooks. I put my planning in the Janelli fish and I put the journal stuff in the Justine King leather. Only change I've actually made. I started off my morning this morning. I had planned out some of June yesterday evening. I did it off camera because sometimes I just need to do things for myself where I'm not filming it, where there's no pressure to do that. I'm going to flip the camera around in just a bit and show you what I'm doing. I have one other change that's coming. I'll show pictures of it maybe Wednesday when I do the coffee chat. So there have been some really good ideas for the name for Monday. Manic Monday, Motivation Monday, Managing Monday, Managing Manic Monday. I like a lot of them. I'm writing them down and thinking about what I want to do. I'm still thinking, don't know, because it's going to be more than just a plan with me. Sometimes I'll do a plan with me. Sometimes I'm going to talk about planning. Sometimes I'm going to talk about the things that affect our planning and goals, things like that. Today I'm going to talk about harmony or balance and following your inner compass so that you have better boundaries and more productivity and better peace of mind. And I say that because today's card was the blessing of just being. You may have been thinking that if you had acted or chosen differently in the past, things would be better now. But in thinking this way, you fail to see the positive effects your past actions and choices have had on both yourself and others. Look closely and you will see many blessings. Well, then right before I got ready to do this, I saw Arwen's little live Facebook, and she pulled a card, an oracle card, and it was about destiny. The card had a quote on it from Shakespeare, and it said, "It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves." What I have been thinking about in regards to this is sort of how I needed to reframe my planning system, actually more of my approach to maintaining productivity, balance, how to work smarter instead of harder, to find what really works for me. And I went around my butt to get to my elbow. I found a quote. It was actually for yesterday. And the Almanac, A Daily Dose of Wonder. And yesterday's quote was, "The daily soul vitamin," this is what it says, "until you're ready to look foolish, you'll never have the possibility of being great." That's by Cher. And that I think was part of it, is that I felt foolish flip-flopping and back and forth between all these different things. I went originally from a calendar and a pad of paper planning to, well, list making and a calendar for events and stuff like that. I've talked a lot about that. I tried the follow facts. I tried bullet journaling. I tried adding planning to my art journal, so omni journaling. I tried all different kinds of the Hobonichi, and I've tried Aaron Condren. I've tried the Law of Attraction Planner. I've tried all different kinds of things. What I keep going back to is the calendar and lists. But now I do my list a little bit different. So I wanted to sort of have things set up very simply, but sort of compartmentalized, because that's how my brain works, my ADHD brain. One of the things I realized when I was redoing, there's a hair, y'all. When I was redoing my system, is that as much as I love the Hobonichi, and I do love it, for journaling and for planning, I love the layout of it. I really want it in a B6. I have realized that B6 is for now what I need. A5 is just too much space. It's too heavy to carry around. Not that I go a whole lot of places, but I do things and go places on occasion. I like the simplicity. Cutting grass. So that might be my husband cutting grass. The simplicity of it. When I started thinking about what I wanted to talk about, because I've learned so much from Plan Your Peace with Allie and from Planner Boot Camp with Beyond, is that I feel guilty when I'm not doing something. I feel guilty. I feel guilty when I'm not busy. I feel guilty when I'm relaxing and sitting, when I'm not doing something. I also feel guilt over disappointing people. I feel guilty when I say no. even if I'm saying no for a good reason. I feel guilty for having a lack of follow through. I feel guilty when I'm really busy and I don't feel like I get enough quality time with my family. When I take time off and am not doing things, I feel guilty when the sink is full of dishes. I feel guilty. I felt guilty because I broke the vacuum cleaner, y'all. My hair is everywhere and it's like having a pet, because that's pretty much what broke our vacuum cleaner. The vacuum cleaner I had before that was for pets because of my hair, because I shed so badly. But anyway, I evidently suffer from feeling guilty over things that are really not even my responsibility, much less my fault. I also feel guilty because not being organized, having a lack of organization, having things be messy, having the clutter, and not having things in proper places so that I can find where everything is. Because right now I have things and I know I have them, I just don't know where in the hell they're at. That equals problems. That is problematic. And that in and of itself also had to do with my planning, because I was like, well, I thought I had these stickers. I thought I had this stencil, this ruler, this whatever it is, and I'm like, I know I had that. I know I have that, but I don't know where it's at, because I put things in drawers and try to clean up, and I moved into this room and then I rearranged this room, and when I went to rearrange this room, I put a lot of stuff away just to get it out of the way because there was so much to move. And I'm sorry you're going to hear Mr. Rockstar cutting the grass, but we've had so much rain. It's going to rain this afternoon and it's his only day off, and he wanted to get it cut before the rain came. So what could I do to change that? And one of the things that I learned in Plan Your Piece, and that was re-emphasized in Planner Boot Camp, was simplifying things. Part of the whole simplifying things and finding what works for me is about following my intuition. In order to have better focus, to work smarter instead of harder, to have more progress, and for me to be able to find things better, I went in here last night and cleaned up a bunch. I couldn't find my little blue shark, the little bookmark thing, and I knew I had it. I knew it was in this house, and I finally found it. Also found a few other things that I didn't even realize I had. Getting rid of some of the clutter and reorganizing some of the things has helped, I think, clear my mind as well as my space, so I can be more productive. So my brain is not so distracted, so that I am physically not so distracted by trying to find everything. All of that, I've noticed, leads to more creativity, which also leads to having more time for creativity. Because when I'm not busy trying to find things, when I'm not busy running around like a chicken with my head cut off, or having to do things where I'm going around my ass to get to my elbow. So learning to say no so that I can say yes, because I can't say yes to everything. I learned that with the Plan As You Go. I really wanted to do that, but I just, yeah, unless I were to do them live and I didn't have to worry about editing videos, not going to happen again for me. It didn't work out because yeah. Anyway, I've also been learning to say no to myself sometimes, not just to others. If I don't need it, don't get it. If I don't need it, if it's not something that brings me joy, I need to either throw it out, donate it, send it off, something. If I won't use it or I don't use it, same. But if I really want something, then I need to sit down and think about why it is I want it. Do I want it for the right reasons? Do I want it because it will make my life better? Because it will make things easier for me? It will simplify things? Because every now and again we need a little something we want as a reward. I'm not a minimalist, as you can tell. I am nowhere near a minimalist. But I have noticed that sometimes when I'm upset, when my anxiety kicks in, when the depression kicks in, impulse spending to feel better. And I was doing that for a while when I was flip-flopping with journals. When I would get upset, the perfectionism would kick in, and I was so about a journal, or a page in a journal or a page in a planner or a setup or a spread or something where I felt like it just messed up the whole journal and I wanted to start over. I'm not doing that anymore. I finished my journal, y'all. She is such a chunky monkey and I love her. And one of the things I talked about in some of the stuff for the newsletter was about this very perfectionism thing. And I really want a folio. That's on my birthday wish list. But I got to thinking between now and then, because I was talking to Bree last night about how the strings tend to, if you take your journal in and out of your traveler's notebook with the strings, pulling that, because not just hers, but other kinds of journals too, or when they get really chunky, it puts pressure on the binding. And hers are handmade. So she sews, poor thing, she cut her finger making journals. I feel so bad for her. And she was saying that no journals were harmed. Great. Anyway, I decided I took packing tape and put it around the edges. I was really careful. I even cut sections to wrap it around where the strings would be on my journal. I've never gotten her to put that tape on the journals because if they get paint on them or anything, that's just par for the course with me. I like that. It makes it feel more, I don't know, it's just, that's how it is, you know. But I did put packing tape around the edges and I was very careful so that the strings being in here will not pull and rip the little bit of the edges around my journal. So some things, like when you're thinking about different things and you're thinking, what can I do? A hack. What can I do to make things better for me until I can afford to, say, get a folio? I have really wanted to try Rowena Sojourner's leather products. I really want one of those little envelopes, and I really want the pen case thing that you can fit a few of them in. I want a folio. I don't need a traveler's notebook, but I want like 2 folios, and I would like to have a violet one and a red one, and I would like to have pockets. And I would love to win that peg and all pin rolly thing, and yeah. Like, there's a lot of stuff I want. I mean, I see these things that I want. Like, I see the Superior Labor pin roll, only I don't like brown leather. And I'm thinking, God, somebody needs to come out with one that's red. I want a red one. I want a red leather one. I want a red leather crossbody knapsack for plein air sketching, for urban sketching. I'll try to think of her name, but she had a video and she does urban sketching, and she's got this leather purse. She was over somewhere, and the people that she was with, they were also doing urban sketching or whatever. I don't know if she was teaching or what, but they bought her this leather crossbody. She was in India. They bought her this leather. It has a little pockets in the front of it where she puts her water, and she actually shows where she's out urban sketching where she has the water in there. I'm like, see, something with the pockets. My knapsack is going to work for now, and I love my knapsack. I'd like one a little bit smaller to carry around that wasn't quite so heavy. And then I think, no, you just need a pack lighter. There's nothing wrong with your knapsack. You just need a pack lighter. So those are some of the things that go through my head when I'm thinking, well, gosh, if only I had a cover for the weeks. I do and don't use my weeks enough to have a cover. And then I saw Dawn from Enthusiastically Dawn put a Hobonichi cover in black leather from Chic Sparrow for sale, and I'm like, oh, if only I had $68. Somebody is selling a Sojourner folio, and if I like yellow, and I know a lot of people love the turmeric, the yellow color. I'm not a yellow fan. I don't care for, I like yellow for when I do certain things on pages, like the sun and, you know, things like that. Like, as a matter of fact, there is some yellow. I'm about to write out the stuff for the coffee chats for YouTube and for Patreon. And I did watercolor on there, and there's some yellow on there. I like that. But our bathroom is painted yellow, and I'm so ready to paint it a different color. It's just not my color. It's like orange, yellow, and I like some shades of green, but not all shades of green. But orange and yellow. I like the salmon color, but I don't like orange. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. If and then I saw one, somebody had one that was rose gold, and I was thinking, well, if it was silver instead of rose gold, I would buy that one. But the ones that they had for sale weren't colors I would actually enjoy and love. And then I'm thinking, but do you really want to stick with all the same colors? I've got some browns, but some of the browns I have, they actually have like a little bit of a red undertone to them. I really like to stick with blues, reds, and violets, purples. I like the jewel tone colors, and I don't have the money to buy a folio with any of it right now. So I tell myself, well, you don't have the money, one. Two, it's not a color that you're really going to love. And if you're not really going to love it, don't get it. Even if you had the money, don't get it. Some people feel that way about the red. There are people who would there's no way they would want all the red. But that's just, everybody has their own preference. But I am more and more and more leaning towards that, what, if I know without a shadow of a doubt, it's not going to bring me joy. That after the initial excitement of having a folio wore off, I love my red folio from Taroko Design It's an Enigma cover, but it's an A5, and I need a B6. I need two B6 folios, but I don't need them. So I did the workaround. That's why I put the packing tape on. So when it comes to planning, I have that same sort of thought process. Being tempted by so many things out there, being tempted by thinking, well, if I could only do it that way, then maybe I could get my shit together and I'd be more organized. If only I had this, I could be more organized. If only I had this, it would make this better. And that's simply not the case. Part of following my intuition, following my internal compass, means that now I'm actually thinking, would this bring me joy? Does this bring me joy? Will this make me more productive, or am I the one being more productive? Is it in my control? And it is. We take our destiny into our own hands, and I technically don't need any of this to be productive. I could have a composition book and a pen and bullet journal. I don't need any of this really. I could have a sketchbook and art journal. I could have a sketchbook of mixed media paper, draw what I want to draw on it, cut it out, and then put it in my composition book if I really wanted to art journal, because me and watercolor on composition notebook paper, not so great. I'm still learning how to control the water. I use too much, yeah, and I'm too rough on the paper, so I need better paper for that kind of stuff. But I'm learning, and as I'm learning, I'm realizing that sometimes I get a bit ahead of myself. Sometimes I'm putting the cart before the horse instead of the horse before the cart. So I'm trying to do better with that. I've actually even started ahead. I am doing shark facts, trying to find some different things, because I'm going to be doing all kinds of sea creatures for the month of July. June is all about art and art supplies and things like that. I'm going to each week do something different, and I'm coming up with art terms, and I'm going to be drawing. I've got art supplies, washi tape, and I'm really excited because if you saw on Instagram, I've actually already set up June. I haven't done anything fancy with the tracker. I'm actually doing it this way. And I didn't really do anything fancy with the first weekly spread, because most of that first week of June is actually the last week of May. I am going to be doing certain things because I've realized that one of the things that I need to do for myself is to have some function and some pretty. But I can't do too much pretty, because then it overwhelms my ADHD brain and I can't focus. I would love to be able to put a bunch of watercolor down and do my weekly spread, or to put a bunch of the watercolor down and do my calendar, or whatever. The great thing about having my bullet journal in a traveler's notebook is that I have a B6 Snoopy calendar, little planner thing, and I don't have to draw a calendar, y'all. I don't have to draw a calendar. I'm good. I'm going to flip the camera around now, show you my June setup real quick and this week's setup real quick, and then we're going to end the video. And I thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great one. I know that I kind of rambled quite a bit, but I wanted you to kind of get an idea of why sometimes the struggle for me is so real. Thanks, y'all. Hello. Okay, so we have flipped the camera around, and this is this week right here. So I am doing this. It's not really a plan with me, but until I can figure out a name, that's what we're going to call it. Harmony. Okay. So I have to write the blog post, and I'm going to take pictures. These are the to-dos I would like to get done this whole week. This is my schedule for, I guess I need to maybe move in a little so you can see. Sorry for the lawnmower sounds. Okay. I did the tracker here. I got up just a little bit after 8. I did do my morning routine. Have not walked yet. I've done 15 minutes worth of clean. That's what I have. Will I go to bed by 12 tonight? We'll see. This is what we have right here. Like I said, I have a lot of these to do. This is my list. You saw that in here. So this is today right here, and this part is done. And then I'll write something else maybe. I may have to, Tuesday might be right here. I'm not writing a whole lot. This is just an idea, because I'm actually putting more stuff back here in the Stology notebook. Just the core stuff. I'm not really doing anything fancy. I don't actually even have to do these in here, and it may get to a point where I don't. I have set up June, and instead of putting focus, I put focal point. And I did a little palette and a little half pan and a tube and a brush, and I used this washi tape for these two, for that sort of. This is my tracker, not anything fancy. I did want to do this though, and I did go through here with a pencil first. And I need to put the moon over here. I have it right here. So let's get my pen. And for June, we have new moon on the 13th. Tonight. Okay. I have the tracker, and these fundamentals is actually my task list. The fundamental task that I want to do. I'm going to do a May flip through in the journal because I finished it up, and I think maybe I'll do that at the beginning of June. Show you the end of May in the old journal and in the new journal. I want to finish cleaning out the purple room, finish cleaning in here. I have some things I want to go through. I want to paint the dresser, but I may not get to it. I want to paint the picnic table. I need to get a poster board to put out for sometimes when I need to take pictures, and I don't want the dark background. And it's easier to take a picture with the white background when it's not very sunny outside. Create a wish list for my birthday. I've already started that, but I need to do it on Amazon, so I'm not quite finished with it. Create space for my journals on the shelf. I want to reorganize that bookshelf back there. Clean the stove, clean underneath my cabinets, especially the sink in the bathroom. I want to clean out both these desks and reorganize the drawers in the desk. Then the paperwork, I have some paperwork to send. I want to finish some of the Snoopy postcards and mail them out, and I need to buy my son a birthday present. His birthday's on the 8th of June. This is next week's spread, and I've done it really simple. I messed up right here. I wrote April. Yeah, I wrote April. So I just fixed it with the washi tape, cut that in half, and put the tips over here and the bottoms over here so that I had color. And it's okay. I mean, I'm not going to stress over it, because before I would have wanted to rip the page out, and I'm not ripping pages out. Not ripping pages out. So I'm fixing it as best I can, and I'm going to roll with it. And I used these to make them sort of look like little watercolor palettes, but I realized that I needed to lighten this up. So I'm going to do this so that they're lighter. Back here, this is where I was doing some work. So this is where I'm going to write out the topics, what I want to talk about for the coffee chat for tomorrow for Patreon, the coffee chat for y'all for Wednesday, and then this is my shark facts and some information, and I will do another page where I draw some creatures. Like, I'll do some facts about other creatures, because I can learn to draw them, but I like to know more about stuff. This is, I'm going to be writing a blog post about how I bullet journal in a B6 Traveler's Notebook. And then this is today's Harmony or Balance and Following Our Internal Compass, and I wrote things out. Because all of this stuff, what I've been working on, gives me better quality time with all the things, helps me work on my projects and stuff, and be more productive, to have more follow through, and to make it less about the things and more about the actual what I'm doing, and not so much about the things. I have another Stology notebook that I'm in the process of setting up for just regular daily journaling. Not art journaling, but not necessarily not art journaling either. And as you can see, this is, I just flipped them around and put these in here so that if I needed to, I could actually tuck the journal, this, into the pocket instead of the string. But like I said, I did put packing tape around the edges so that I won't mess up my journal. This is not, like I said, anything that's wrong with the journal. It's because of the strings in the Traveler's Notebook. And this was yesterday's page, and now it's time for me to get to work on today's page. Yeah. And like I said, I found my blue shark. I'm going to start chronicling what I want to use for June as far as supplies. I did go ahead and set this back up in the beginning of May so that I could figure out if these are the colors I want to use. And I think there are one or two colors I actually want to flip, I want to take out and redo. So we're going to see. I actually use a lot of the colors that are on here too. I just need a bigger, my magnets are starting to come off. I'm going to have to get some of those little glue adhesives. Yeah, because the magnets are coming off. This is, I don't know where this one. And I got to get a little palette thing for that. I don't know. Those are the purples. But anyway, I'm debating on whether or not I actually want to just put everything back in here. And I thank you for watching, and I will see you again Wednesday with a coffee chat, and hopefully by the time this uploads, I will have the link to the corresponding blog post. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye, y'all.